city out here. So live on 40 acres and a little homestead.
That's awesome.
What's up, ladies?
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy. Oh my God. All right, let me pull up my stuff. All right. We're coming back around. We are on feedback. So I want to remind everybody a couple things about that, and we'll go over to the next section here. Also, good to see everybody, boys. A couple of hot dudes, a couple of OGs.
It's like the crew, right?
This is the crew. All right. So
Who's the hot dude and who's the OG is the biggest question.
everybody, actually, I'd say Jeff is the OG, and then the rest of us are the hot dudes.
I got you. Okay.
You're one of the originals here.
It's and by OG he means old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It's everything's gross. All right. So feedback we were talking about. The key with feedback is just keeping everything really clear and even. So I was just telling everybody this company I'm working with right now, for example, I'm like, we're trying to get everybody to use this new leaderboard. Like, look at it because it's like a new thing. So I'm like, just send people a screenshot of the leaderboard and just be like, you are currently number 2 in the leaderboard. That's it. Just draw it, let it land. And he did that. And he goes, I was like, how'd it go? And the guy goes, a couple of people responded like, hey, I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. And I'm like, look at that. All you did was say you're number 5. You didn't make any other. They implied all the other all the things. So you don't have to make a whole big deal out of it. So just keep it even because they always think you're trying to fire them, and they will fill in the blanks to do well. But every time you don't give feedback, it's time that they know they can get away with something. So you got to do it every time, even if it's just really small. So I'm really vibing on this. Dude, it's been a long time. Juicy fruit. I'm bringing it back. It was at CVS, and I'm like, why not? Okay. But this is the big one. Andrew, you're the first person to make me realize the next thing I'm going to say is chef. I didn't realize it was chef. Coaching. The way to get everybody to do what you want them to do is through coaching, not through advice giving, not through training. It's coaching. So what you want to do is you collaborate on the goal, collaborate on the plan, offer help, collaborate in the milestone. I'm going to give you a couple new tips here, though. So I'm going to say to someone, I want them to do better. I'm going to go, what do you want to do to get better? Or I noticed so-and-so person is doing better than you. Are you cool with that? Or who do you want to be better than? Or whatever. But a generic question. Like, what do you want to do to get better? What do you want to stop doing so you're not doing as bad? Whatever. Every one-on-one. I'm asking some version of that question towards the end of the call. Last 10. Okay. What do you want to do to get better? Okay. Then what are 1 or 2 things you could do to get better at that thing? So those are the first 2 questions. What do you want to do? What do you want to get better at? What are 1 or 2 things you could do to get better at that? Here's the nuance. If you know what it is that they should be doing or that they fucking suck at, you're going to add the phrase as it relates to. As it relates to. So I'm going to say, hey, man, what do you want to get better at as it relates to like all your outbound efforts? And then what are 1 or 2 things you could do to get better at what you just said as it relates to cold calls? I just told him to make more cold calls, but I got him to admit it. See what I'm saying? So I want to practice this here. So I've got the OGs to go, I want you guys to get me to be better. You guys are sick of me being late. You're sick of me driving while TikToking, Andrew. I don't know. You want me to go to the gym?
Chew with your mouth closed.
You want me to chew with my mouth closed? Jesus Christ. Okay, take it easy. Fuck you, Hammond. I'm taking you out of the call. Okay? So let's go with that. I want you guys to coach me on something and either pick something and be like, this is what I want to coach him on. I know this is the problem as it relates to. Or just coach me on generic. Was somebody trying to join? No. Weird. All right, I'll go to you, though, first, Hammond. I'm glad I'm in the one-on-one. Look at that. 10 minutes left of our one-on-one. Now what do you want to talk about, boss?
So, I was going in a different direction. Let me change gears here real quick. So these one-on-ones are really important. How do you, so tell me where, I'm going to say this and then I think it's wrong so you can give me feedback. But, So how do you think that relates to when you're showing up to these one-on-ones or the timeliness? But that's really pointing to the wrong thing there, right? As it coming out of my mouth, it was.
No, thank you for being vulnerable. So what you want to say is some version of like, what do you want to get better at? Or like, what do you think you can improve on? Or what do you think you're not doing a perfect job of as it relates to timeliness, as it relates to one-on-ones, as it relates to whatever. And But the overall question is still some version of just like, what do you want to get better at? What are you not doing really great at? What do you think you could improve on? What do you think is one of your biggest weaknesses? That kind of a thing.
So maybe something like how can we, like, if talking about being late to the one-on-ones or something, it could be something about how do you want to use our coaching time most effectively, or no? Still,
I'm going to shove this down your throat now, Hams.
Yep.
Say the following phrase.
All right.
What do you want to get better at as it relates to your showing up, as it relates to timeliness?
What do you want to get better with as it relates to timeliness?
Timeliness, I got to do a better job of showing up on time. I'm really bad at I'm always like 2 minutes late, if not 4. Cool. Scene. That's the question. Just keep it simple. Andrew, can you try one?
Yeah, but a quick question on that. So you said I got to get better at this, and that left me thinking, wanting to follow up. How are you going to do that?
Yes, that's correct. That is correct.
Okay.
For the purpose of this exercise, I'm going to stop it, pausing us, but that is the exact question I would want you to ask next.
Got it.
Moving it into SMART goals, basically, at that point, like,
Yeah, to some degree. Because we're on this, I'll pause here for a second to say, but again, let's say you knew the answer was, what's a good answer? Like, what would you tell me to do? If I'm never on time and we're not doing coaching, you're just like telling me to do something. What would you tell me to do?
Me or one of the other guys?
I don't know, anybody. Yeah.
I'd say set reminders in your calendar. I'd say.
Cool. Let's go with that. Great.
Yeah.
So going back to Hammonds, I want you to use the as it relates to. Hammonds is going to go, hey man, what do you want to get better as it relates to timing? I go, yeah, I really got to show up earlier to calls. And he might say, how do you want to do that as it relates to like reminders? Or how do you, what are a couple things you could do to get better, maybe as it relates to time reminders? And now I'm going to go, yeah, I should probably use reminders. Cool. So you can keep in this as it relates to just the generic question or the generic question followed by as it relates to if you know the answer, or you want to just force it down my throat. Like if I'm dressed like a slob every day, I'd be like, hey man, what do you want to get? What do you get better at as it relates to like your office attire or like how you're perceived in the office? Oh, okay, so, cool. Go ahead.
If there's an issue that is happening and they're not seeing it, so how are you getting to that issue first? So you're just saying, hey, this is a problem here. Kind of introing even sooner into that conversation.
Mm-hmm. I could do that too. If it's like a true problem, I might. Let's say you're definitely not making up enough calls. I know that, that we've talked about it a few times, given you feedback a few times. Yeah. I might say, sure, like, hey man, you're not making enough calls. What do you want to get better at as it relates to making more calls? Sure.
Yeah.
However, to keep it simple, just know that you don't have to have this preface statement.
Yeah.
Just saying, hey man, I was thinking about your performance here. Obviously you want to make a lot of money. What do you want to get better at? Maybe as it relates to calls. Yeah, calls. Yeah. Right. It's out of nowhere. He goes, oh yeah. And you go, oh, well, what are a couple of things you could do to get better at calls? Maybe as it relates to like the time that you set up for it or something.
Yeah, I like how you
Paul Round
where you like did the motivation and then how do you want to get better at, and then you kind of named the
like, hey, I know you want to make some more money, so how are we gonna get there?
Yeah, sure. That could be the preface of like, I know you've been stressed out lately. What do you want to get better at as it relates to like the CRM? But yeah, I always do kind of play dumb, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
okay,
like
that's just an act. Okay.
That's an act.
Okay, gotcha.
Because what it does is if I do it without that, it sounds immediately like accusatory.
Well,
it's like you know that I'm saying, so what do you want to do to get better as it relates to hitting your fucking targets? You know what I mean? That's how it's going to come across. Versus like, what do you want to do as it gets? What do you want to do to get better here? I mean, as it relates to, oh man, forget the promotions, forget the money, just like hitting targets. Like, what are your thoughts there, dude?
Yeah.
So like, take a real world example of feedback that I'm planning on giving tomorrow is so somebody who in team meetings and larger company meetings tends to over capitalize on time and ask very like pointed questions just about her and yada yada. We all know the person, right? Mm-hmm. So, and I brought it up a few times. It's not really getting better, and I'm getting a lot of feedback from outside my team and inside my team, and it's bugging everybody, right? So way that I could frame that would be kind of talk about, about, I know how you're viewed in the company is really important. How do you want to get better at that in relation to like how you relate in meetings or something like some version?
Yeah, that's good. You can obviously workshop that, but it might go. Obviously, look, it's important. You care about your reputation here. So I'm trying to think about how we can make your reputation better. What could we do to improve your reputation here? Let's zoom in to as it relates to meetings and like how you talk in meetings and when you're talking in meetings and stuff. What do you think we could do to improve your rep there? That's one way you could do it. That said, if it hasn't been getting through, I might do that, but I would. That to me sounds like a feedback situation. That's just to be like, hey, you want to look good in meetings. Like I know it's important that you. Sorry, hey, can I give you some quick feedback before we go anywhere? In the last team meeting, you asked a question that took a long time, and that happened in a previous meeting too, and we talked about it. When you do that, people then reach out to me, and it's clear that your reputation is going in the wrong direction. That said, let's keep moving forward. So this month, where are you at for your target? Just want to move on. But I could see a world where she goes, wait a second. What was that all about? And at that point, I could see going, well, your reputation is being hurt there. What do you want to get better at as it relates to how you're perceived in meetings? How could you do that as it relates to how much time you take? Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. Sweet. I'm still on you, Asness.
Yo.
Hit me with something. Coach me on something. It could be the car TikTok thing. Could be a fake scenario. But I'd like you to know the answer of what you want to get me to, and ask me, what do I want to get better at? What do I want to improve on? Whatever, as it relates to.
So, Mike, we talked about this last session. Or what do you want to get better at as it pertains to TikToks in your car?
Well, I want to make sure that I'm paying more attention on the road when I am doing them.
Isn't your car self-driving? Come on.
No.
So
okay, Andrew, go ahead.
I want to recommend.
Nope.
No.
You cannot recommend anything.
You
need to come up with the solution by saying some version of what can you do as it relates to.
So what can you do to increase your attention to the road versus your phone?
I can maybe pull over. I just do it on the road, but I'm not driving. Cool.
You used to do that when you were parked after you did drop-offs, and now you're doing it when you're driving, or you do it somewhere.
I never have time now because I used to have 20-minute drop-off, 20-minute home, 40 minutes on the road. Now I have 6 minutes on the road. But Schmidt.
No problem. Yes.
Hit me some feedback, Schmidt, or some coaching rather.
Yeah. So, so as it relates to I'm thinking about.
It's a safe place.
Yeah. I'm watching you chew your gum with it. And you said that before, and I'm like, now I can't stop looking at you chewing your gum. So as it relates to, etiquette in a meeting, what do you think you could do better?
I think I could probably not chew 3 pieces of gum at the same time.
Yeah. What do you think what kind of perception do you think that gives?
Cool. Let's pause from there. All right. So
you're like, forget you, man.
My gum down. I'll put it in the trash in a second. Thank you for that. All right, cool. So we've got what do you want to get better at, or what do you want to improve on, or what do you think is a weakness of yours? We've got, as it relates to topic, what do you want to get better at when it comes to creating engagement in this meeting as it relates to your etiquette? What do you want to get? What do you want to get better at as it relates to making good TikToks? Or sorry, what do you want to get better at with your TikToks as it relates to car safety? What do you want to get better at in terms of your reputation as it relates to your presence in meetings? Cool. Step 2 is how can you do that? What are a couple of things you could do?
Mm-hmm.
How can you do that? Which can be a flat question like the earlier, or it could be what are 1 or 2 things? How can you do that as it relates to something you know? So, hey man, what do you want to get better at? Man, I need more fucking leads. Marketing sucks. Totally get that. How about as it relates to your self-generated leads? What do you want to get better at there? I definitely got to make more self-generated leads. Totally get that. What do you think are a couple things you could do to generate those leads as it relates to maybe your email outreach, maybe your phone outreach? Yeah, I got to get more of those. Okay, cool. this person started the meeting with just nothing and now is leaving the meeting going, I've decided proactively I would like to make more phone calls and write more emails. My boss never told me to. This is me thing. I'm not being advised or recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's step 2. For time, I'm going to go to step 3, which is the easier one, kind of. Step 3 is offering help. Okay. So here's the deal. Nobody in the history of help has ever said, sure, when you've said, is there anything I can help you with? They've all said no. So what we want to do instead is actually do the assumptive close. I'm going to do blank. Is that okay? So Andrew could say, like, I'm going to give you, Andrew could have said, hey, what time do you do your TikToks mostly? And I'll be like, oh, like around 8:00. And he might say, I'm going to give you a ring every day at 8. I'll shoot you a text every day at 8 to remind you what you just said. Is that okay? To which I would have said, sure, absolutely. But now imagine this. Imagine Andrew is my boss, and he goes, hey, Mike, I want to bring your attention, like your TikToks. You're doing it in the car, and I really can't have that. So I need to send you reminders every day to make sure that you're not doing that. Is that okay? Now I'm like, yo, fuck you, dude. And now all I'm going to do is do my TikToks at 9 or just not let, somehow block him. This is the shit that our reps do when we give a feedback. And then they're like, I'll just hide my deals now.
So how do you handle the tricky situation where whatever they're doing is against company policy, but you don't want to come off as a dick, like you just said? So
with a true, like, this is an issue, this is not a coaching moment, this is like, you must stop right now. That is where I'm going to lean into just clarification. And I'm going to say the way that I have tough conversations is the same every time. I go, hey, man, this is going to be really fucking uncomfortable. This is super awkward because it helps me not feel as awkward. It helps me feel like they know not to, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It helps them. But this is really awkward. It's going to be a really hard conversation. Okay. And you go, listen, you're doing X. We can't have that. I will typically explain why if I can, but it might just be like, this can't be a thing we do here. But it's like, you're coming in late every day. We can't allow that in the company. And I will say, like, if you continue to come in late, we're going to have to remove you from the business, which is crazy. And maybe you think it's even overkill, but this is the fact of the matter.
Man, I could have used that last night on my son. Oh my God. That would have been.
I was just going to say that's what I have to do in parenting.
That would have been perfect for the situation. So I'm like, I'm stealing that tonight. I'm going to be like,
awkward conversation. This is so hard, man. But
sorry, kid, I'm going to have to let you go if you do that again.
Yeah. Right. There's an adoption clinic down the road. But yeah, that's what I do there.
Good. All right. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. And I usually try to offer some help where I'll be like, man, I know this is going to be challenging for you. Can we think through a couple ways I can help you through this? Because I know that you want to do that. And I'm not going to.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, cool. So we're in. Boom. Step 1, what do you want to get better at as it relates to you? Step 2, what are a couple things you can do to get better at as it relates to, if you want to add that in. Step 3, offer help to help you remember what things you can do to offer help, because we usually get lost in our mind here, unlike it or whatever, is we either do connection or curation. So I'm either going to be like, I'll connect you with Bob. He's great at this. I'll connect you on Slack with this dude who's really smart at that. I'll connect you on my calendar for us to talk about it, or I'll curate stuff. I'll put together some videos that might help with this. I'll put together, I'll go find that slide deck that explains this a little bit more. I'll put together a couple of the recordings so you can see where you're talking a little bit too much. Is that okay? And that's really the end of it. I have the extra bit, but I don't require it, which is creating a milestone, collaborating on a milestone. So the milestone is, hey man, like, I don't want to talk about this more, and I know you don't either. So what is like a number that we can hit that we'll know at that point we don't have to ever talk about this shit ever? And I this originally was just like, hey man, what is a number to let me know that you've hit your goal? And then, like, in practice, I found that it came across very, like, I don't know, prescriptive, not a transactional, I think is the word. But here being like, dude, I know you don't want to think about this shit forever. I don't want to think about this shit forever. I know you want to work on this forever. We have other things to work on. So what is like a quantitative thing that would indicate like you're good at whatever this is? So that's the question. And then to the thing that you're thinking in your head, but Mike, what if it's a subjective, like really soft skill thing? It's not like make 10 calls. Then I almost always just use a rating. So I'll just be like, why don't we just use, if it's kind of hard, it's like my reputation. I don't know how to make my reputation better. All right, well, why don't we do like, how would we rate your reputation now? 1 out of 10, and then when we feel like it's 30% better than that number, you're in a good spot. How's that sound? Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Sweet. I would rate your reputation a 2 out of 10. You rate it a 5 out of 10. It's probably a 3.5. 30% better than 3.5 is 1.5 or some kind, number 1. So when we rate it combined a 4, you're good. Cool. See you. Bye. Or like Jeff's one, I might have said, well, why don't we do this right now? Every month, I probably get 2 messages from people about your questions. When we get to 0, I think we're in a good spot. Sound good? Sweet. All right. So what do you want to get better at? How do you want to get better at it? I'm going to do this. Is that okay? What's a way to know that we're done talking about? Let's work with your son too, man. Hey man, what do you want to get better at as it relates to me having to come in your room and like reprimand you for doing shit that you shouldn't do? That sucks. How could you make sure that you do show up? You do come home on time or whatever it is. Don't steal my fucking car, whatever it is. Sweet. Well, I want to make sure this doesn't happen again. You don't want to make sure it doesn't happen again. What's like a thing we could do to make sure that you really do get it? Is it 2 weeks of grounding being over? Is it 3 weeks of grounding being over? Maybe that's what it could be, Andrew, for example. Jeff, I could sense you're in here feeling this right now. Everybody is, I suppose. First of all, you guys are getting this. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's just very relevant because I'm a quarter into a new team. And so now we've kind of established our identity as a team. And now I'm really pushing them. Okay, Q2's now where I expect you to grow. Like the shit's hitting the fan now. And so we're like setting personal goal outside of targets and things like that, like personal goals. And that's kind of what we're focused on this week. So it's really hitting home on how I can do my plan better so I'm kind of
this is like right in the right time.
exactly.
So then all of this stuff, by the way, this goes in your HQ doc under currently working on.
Yeah, exactly.
If you remember from Chef, the last letter is follow-up. So if next week you go in there one-on-one, you're like, hey man, what's up? What do you want to get better at? They're like, didn't this motherfucker just ask me that shit last week? Doesn't he know I'm supposed to be like, he's supposed to be checking in on me? And then you don't. And they're like, whatever, dude, fuck this guy. Now the next time he asks me what I want to get better at, I'll be like, I'll say whatever, I'll do whatever, I'll agree to whatever, and I'm just not going to do it. No, that's how it works.
Yeah, it's interesting because most of my team has been very used to not having a follow-through type of leader. And so it doesn't take much follow-through. And they're like, oh shit, like, I mean, I'm going to have to do this stuff that I say. And then it actually, you would think it makes it harder to get stuff done, but in some ways it makes it easier because now
their tolerance is lower for it.
Exactly.
And my tip here is this is where I use reminders or send later. So like I will leave that meeting and like as I'm in the next meeting, be like, hey, how you doing? The reason I'm late to all my meetings, by the way, I'll be like writing email to that person and I'll have it send later for 3 days from now. It's like, hey man, just checking in. How's it going with that? I know that's a new thing. I don't have to think about it. Suddenly Thursday morning, I wake up to like it's going good. And I'm like, what is this fucking, oh yeah. Nice, Mike. Fucking followed through. So little tip of the day. Cool. Guys, get out of here. Love you all.
Peace.